I don't get this place.
Iowa's always been a weird track. It's less than a mile long, so technically it's a short track, which is my specialty, but it's wide, got multiple grooves, D-shaped, so it always felt like it raced more like a Kansas or Vegas rather than a Martinsville or Wilkesboro. So I always just ignored it, primarily because I sucked at it. But it was no big deal because Cup never went there and it rarely got used. Until last year when Cup went there and all of a sudden we're using it for everything, including the eRA Summer Bowl. The eRA holds 4 races a year in the Cup car at different tracks. They draw big names and can be a challenge to even qualify for. But everyone races it to take their shot at the $5,000 prize pool and the $4,000 check for winning. So, I guess I've actually got to learn how to get around this place. I start things off by trying to figure it out in the car that I know best on iRacing, the 1987 car. I struggled to keep this thing pointed in the right direction, in line for a long time. And that's probably why I qualified so poorly. But I really started to figure this place out when I just started running it exactly like what it was. A big short track. I started really rolling speed by entering high, then wrapping the bottom. I'm able to quickly pick off a few cars at the start. From there, I'm able to use this method and don't slip my right rear. Then, it was just a matter of time before I tracked down the leaders. And from there, I ran up a 7-second lead on my way to a pretty easy win. But it's probably best I get some practice in the car I'm actually going to have to race in. And honestly, the philosophy on how to run the Cup car in terms of line is about the same here. The only difference is that really this car's a little less forgiving and the second and third lanes are a little bit more viable, especially in the short runs. During my race, I have to work over some traffic on the starts, but I'm able to just drive it in deeper, keep momentum to help the car turn, and get the lead. From there, I'm able to just get in a rhythm, knock down some laps, and drive away with a pretty easy win. One more practice race in the Cup car, and this time I didn't qualify so I could get some more practice in traffic. And at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot of technique I learned other than just driving in deep and go where they aren't. But following that simple strategy got me into the top 5 in a hurry. After some pit stops, I wrapped the bottom like I had been practicing, got the lead, and made my way to another easy win. 3 races, 3 wins. I've at least got an idea on how to get around this place, but I guess we'll find out what we've got when we go up against the best of the best. In qualifying, I go to replicate that, which, I do for 95% of the lap. I just had a little trouble in the center of 1 and 2, which would land me a P9 starting spot. Starting up front really gives me a shot, but we'll have to decide how hard we want to push early because we could sink like a rock later on if these tires get too worn out. Green flag and everything's fairly orderly for now. I just fall in line and start logging some laps. For about 2 laps, until I completely overstepped the rear on the entry to turn 1. I was able to save it, but I gave away like 3 spots in the process. I didn't spend too much time in practice or my build-up races in dirty air, so I'll have to adjust my entry when running in packs like this. It'd take a few laps to get the heat out of the tires, and I'd lose another spot while doing it, but we're back to running in a rhythm by lap 12. I'd get back to the pack and take back one of the spots I lost, but I'm just trying to run the bottom and save my right rear. We've made it this far without a caution already, so no telling how long we'll end up running. Oh, never mind. The answer was 2 laps. The one big difference between this series and the official series is the tire sets. Most races will limit you to 1 or 2 sets, and you have to decide when you use them. But here, you get unlimited sets, so any kind of long run is going to be met with immediate, guaranteed pit stops from the whole field. The only cars that don't stop are the ones that are desperate for track position, meaning we'd only lose about 4 spots in the whole deal. We're back to it on lap 21, or at least the outside lane is. Someone missed a gear on the bottom and caused a huge accordion, which gained us a few spots, but killed about half a dozen cars. We'd find ourselves back in 12th again as we took the green flag on lap 27. We'd at least make it to turn 1 this time. Not much further than that. That'd move us back inside the top 10, and we'd actually stay green. I know I'm faster than the 2 out front, but I'm just kind of riding, waiting for an opportunity where I can get through easily. That never did happen, though, because they wrecked behind and brought out the 3rd yellow of the night. Green flag again on lap 38, and I'm able to get some really easy passes done thanks to a combination of their bad starts and bad tires, only to be followed up by, you guessed it, another caution 3 laps later. See, here's the race I was expecting. But what made this yellow interesting was for the first time tonight, we had a split decision on whether or not to pit amongst the top few guys. Green flag on lap 48, and I immediately get jumped headed into turn 1. Yeah, he had pit a pit cycle or 2 earlier. Already you can see this race is going to be about pitting at the right time. I expected to lose 1 spot, but I lost another when I got dived headed into turn 3. 5 laps later, I get back to him, but he doesn't get through the center and I have to check up, causing me to lose yet another spot. But it'd be about 5 laps or so before I realized the predicament I was in. Remember those cars that pit under the last yellow? Yeah, they're here now, and they are blowing right by me. I assumed we'd keep getting yellows, but clearly that's not the case. I'm running well, but still can't really stop the backslide. It wasn't until lap 72 when the yellow finally came out and I could stop hemorrhaging spots. But because we have unlimited tire sets, everyone who pit before me gets to pit again, so I'll have to fight for every single one of those positions back. With just under 50 to go, I'm back in 13th, and I know I need to gain spots now. I get a ton of them back when the outside line does whatever that was. I'd ride behind some cars for the next few laps, just trying to see what lane would end up being faster. That's when one of them just completely loses it. I tried to slow down and move, but I hit him head on. Somehow I got out of that with no damage, but I was expecting that to be way worse than it actually was. We'd take the green again on lap 87, and this time I'd actually run the high line for the first few laps. It's time to grab spots, and this will help me defend from fast cars out back and take advantage of anyone that got bogged down on the bottom, even if that didn't actually happen here. Caution would fly on lap 94, and I'm still just stranded in ninth. Can't really seem to make any headways going forward. So while the rest of the field struggles with whether they'll pit or not, I know I'm pitting, so I have any chance of moving forward. The good news is that with my fast stop, this was 100% the right decision. I only gave up one spot to get 4 new tires, and I know I can beat a ton of the guys out front. We get back to racing, coming to lap 100, and the new rubber helps me get a great jump. I'm able to drive in deep, move up to 8th before we get another caution for wrecking in the back before I got a chance to do anything else. Green flag again on lap 107, and the outside line didn't get the best jump. I'm anxious to get around some of these slower cars, so I look to the outside and try to make it 3 wide, but I couldn't get to the outside, and another car on new tires lined up on the bottom was able to make it 3 wide himself. He's able to get one of the positions that I'd grab shortly after, and I'm still not abandoning the idea of this super high line and move out there to try to make it 3 wide. And I was going to get both positions until the car on old tires got tight and forced me up the track. I got the spot, but lost the other battle in the process. We'd get a caution after that because, of course, we would. And we get back going again on lap 117. And all these cars on old tires are struggling and pushing tight. It only takes me a half a lap to pull alongside one of them. And that's all it takes to send him into another car fighting for grip to bring out the caution before we even made it a single lap. But then for some reason, after the yellow had already been out for 10 seconds, the third place car just gets completely dumped, moving me up to 4th. Now, we couldn't be in a better spot at a better time. We're on the front 2 rows with brand new tires. Now, all that's left to do is miss my shift and ruin the whole race. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Well, maybe it wasn't that bad, but yeah, I just struggled to get it to shift after gunning it so easily. This absolutely killed my chances at the win, but I was able to stay up on the wheel, hold position, and bring it home in the cash. Is this thing real? Now, could we have had $4,000? Absolutely. But I've put in less work for less money, and now I can finally say I understand how to get around every short track on iRacing. And they rescanned the track, now it's completely different. Never mind. Thank you guys so much for watching and for all the support on these long-form videos. If you want to go ahead and like and subscribe so you don't miss the next time I upload, whenever that may be, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.